Trapmore gang, it's time to assemble because we have got another crazy Atlanta story. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that word, the R word. Okay, I'm not gonna say the R word. But Atlanta, which obviously has been plagued with a rodent problem. Okay, I'm hearing the fumigators are in town, and apparently, they've gone full Walter White. I think they've maybe have cleared up the problem. I think maybe the streets have been cleared. I think maybe Atlanta's all good. But unfortunately, there is now another beef that has been reignited in the streets of Atlanta. And we're seeing a couple of big titans of the rap game going back and forth. And a lot of people are thinking that maybe the boy Wham, Lil Baby, is actually making some pretty serious mistakes, bringing up some street stuff. 1 minute, he's changing the name of his crew. He's not 4PF anymore. He's CBFW. Now, the next minute, he's jumping on songs talking about crime. So it's a little bit crazy. But the beef between Lil Baby and Offset from the Migos is been kind of wiggling its way into the rap game from another little secret feud to now something that is frontline Atlanta street politics. So I'm going to break it all down for you in this video. Stay locked in. Appreciate you guys, the Trap Disciples. Let's get to it, man. Let's break it down. So a couple of months ago in September, we got word from the boy Gunna Wanna. All right. We got word from our guy Gunna Wanna that there would actually be potentially a joint album with Offset that might be coming soon. Two Atlanta Titans that I personally would love to see them two linking up together. Heard some great songs from them guys recently. That song Different Species that they're both on is absolutely fire. Like the way that beat drops, shorty, I bet she went on me. She got a very up in at least hard song, right? So they're saying that they might have a little joint project coming together, and I'm all for it. Let's hear what he said.
So is there a Gunna Offset collab album?
Definitely. Yes.
Let's go.
And it's in the works, but we spacing it out. He dropped this album, I dropped my album. I was on his, he was on mine, and I feel like that was sprinkles and breadcrumbs for us to give you that meal soon.
Ooh, we're going to need that meal, man. We're going to need that meal. Them sprinkles and breadcrumbs just ain't enough, man. So a couple of months after this, okay, quite recently, one of the people who wasn't feeling this news was, of course, Wham. And as we all know, whatever Wham says goes, even though he doesn't always have anything to say about what's really important. He likes to sometimes speak on things that, whatever Wham says goes. But sometimes, when we're looking for Wham's opinion on things that are really important, he's nowhere to be seen. So Wham basically popped out, right, and he announced Whammy Wednesdays, all right? He said song and video every Wednesday for the rest of the years. He said it's Wham Wednesdays, all right, strictly for the fans. No, what's that? No B's? No BS? I don't know, but what I'm saying? I'm not quite sure what he means by that. Now, one of the songs that he released on his Wham Wednesdays, okay, was the track Other Boy. Now, I don't know whether it was this entire song or whether it was parts of this song, but this had been leaked, okay? This was from the Leaks Project, and I'd heard these lyrics gunning for Offset, basically, in previous leaked songs, but obviously this is now an official release, so he's actually stamping it. It's all well and good when a rapper has a little unreleased song that's circulating, he's dissing somebody, but it's like, well, he didn't want to put that out, so it's kind of a bit of plausible deniability that, like...
I knew that years ago when it first happened, when they stripped him outside the Magic City strip club, and P had to pull up and save Offset. He was butt ass naked.
He didn't really want that negative message to actually go out there into the streets. This has now been officially released, so he is standing on these statements, right? And in this song, he dissed Gunna and Offset. Okay, there was a few little sneak disses here. All right. A lot of people are saying, okay, Lil Baby didn't drop any names, but he would make references to snitching, switching up, and pushing up on somebody at the gym.
Stripping.
And a lot of people felt like that had something to do with Gunna, right? There's all these lines that saying, dudes low-key be depressed while it looked like I'm at my best. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I know this was recorded before Young Thug's downfall, but like releasing this now, like if anybody looks low-key depressed, it was Young Thug over the last couple of months. But he's talking about somebody else here. He says, they know they don't want to beef with me. Owners want to meet with me. Now, that's an interesting line when we're hearing that the owners wanted to meet with him. I was hearing that he got cut out of the deal with QCP. I was hearing the owners cut you out of the deal and they didn't want to meet with you, but okay. You're saying, bad bitch, 12-hour flight, come sleep with me. She like me because I'm a real street dude. All I'm saying is when it popped, just keep it in the street. Make
a rapper taking clothes out that boy male stripper. Try to speak on me, you niggas still snitching.
Some, you know what I'm saying? Look, I'll just read you the lyrics and then we'll break it all down. Try and speak on me to throw it off. These dudes are still snitching. Okay.
This little button on the back will show a nigga how to switch up. Push
I'd
him
run it,
on up in the
right?
gym. I
That's
bet a
ironic coming
nigga
from the
doing
dude
his
that switched up on Lil
push-ups.
Durk and
I
tried to
be
get a rap
jamming
battle
it.
with, but okay. And then he says, push up on them at the gym. I hope they doing their push-ups. I'm not gonna lie. All this talk for Gunna at the gym, bro. I feel like Gunna would Gunna and Lil Baby in the ring. Gunna's destroying Lil Baby, in my opinion, right? I'm saying for a fact, you dudes are hoes. The city knows this ain't no diss song. Well, it sounds like one. It does sound like one. And saying Baby won't respond, just say his name so we can get going. I can't believe that boy went bold on me or told you pulled big stunts. They go on and they recording. Speak on me for streams, bro. Why the F am I that important? You don't even know them dudes you with. You getting extorted. I could see that relating to Gunna, because obviously Gunna was rolling with Big U in the Rolling 60s, and they were saying that was potentially something more going on behind the scenes with that. He's basically saying it ain't cordial no more. He ain't like none of these guys. Said I ain't never wanted to speak on none of this stuff. Tell the truth, these dudes are mad. I'm running this stuff. Not really anymore. And all of this is not about that one boy. I'm talking about that other boy and that other boy and that other boy too. So he's saying that I'm talking about everybody. What is genius.com? They're saying he's not just talking about Gunna. He's talking about Academics, Offset, Young Boy, and possibly 6ix9ine. Academics brings up Lil Baby often in his stream, saying he's fallen off or his new or leaked songs are AI. Offset was jumped by 4PF and he's just known for betraying people. He's often switching sides. Okay, saying real ones know my body. I'm not talking to you. If you are F-boy and feel hit, I'm talking to you. Turn the Virgil into a laundrette. I'm sick of the roof.
You copy everything I do, little boy. I'm sick of you too.
I would say you copy everything I do, little boy. I'm sick of you too. You acting hard. You must have forgot that I stopped Broden from shooting you. I wonder who he's talking about there. He's saying I stopped him from shooting you. All right. Nobody know you.
He talking about Offset Trap the night after the club when they had him butt naked. They was finna shoot him. He stopped him.
You till you came around. You really my junior boy. I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if he's talking about Gunna there, because there was all these talks that Gunna actually taught Lil Baby to rap and that he was responsible for some of his success. Now, obviously, that one line where he's talking about tell a rapper take his clothes off, that's a male stripper. That basically was apparently a reference to an incident where, you know, Offset basically allegedly, they're saying that he got stripped. You know, he was. I was hearing rumors that there was some kind of maybe some sort of gambling situation going wrong. You know, and he mentioned this before in another song, Do For A Win. We said, bro caught him lacking and told me your nose was running. You already know what he did. Vibes in the A, got some more in LA and some more in Miami. I don't know how I live. Act like you with it. I really watch dudes strip you out your boxes. You know you a bitch, right? And that's wild. Genius Annotation's even like, whoa, chill out. They're saying it's rumored to be about the time that members of 4PF jumped Migos member Offset in 2020 at the Atlanta nightclub Compound. Very, very disrespectful. Now, what's interesting, okay, is all of these guys used to all be under the same management, right? Under the same label.
Yep, QC.
There was once a time when Baby, the Migos, all right, they was basically together under QC, right, quality control. They was all under the same sort of management, same label. Obviously, you know, they're saying that Lil Baby got cut out of a big deal for QC to be bought by you know, a sort of big conglomerate that buys music led by Scooter Braun. But before all of this happened, man, Offset and Lil Baby, they were seen together shooting dice numerous times.
You don't need to post. One. Let go. Let go. Knock your head off, Sid. 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 Yeah, knock your head off, Sid. Knock your head off. Knock your head off. Knock your head. You don't need to post. You don't need to post. One.
Look, you will never catch me shooting dice anywhere other than Las Vegas. Even in fact, I ain't even shot dice in Vegas. I don't even know how that game. But I don't think I have ever heard a positive story coming out of a bunch of rappers and gang members having a dice game, right? Have your fun, do your illegal gambling, you know, in the trap. That's a good way. I've never heard of anything positive. I've never heard of no positive interaction coming off the back of a dice game outside of a trap house, right? I mean, respect, it's a vibe. They brought the crap table out. Like, this is a kind of legendary content right here, right? It's a good look for everybody. But they're saying these games are going wrong and people are getting stripped. I can't, you know what I mean? I can't rock with that. So obviously things were all good at a certain point. This is the kind of activities that Lil Baby and Offset were getting up to back when things were good. Unfortunately, it sounds like things went left at a certain point. Now, a little while after this, okay, by 2019, Baby had started growing his own roster of artists, right? He had apparently signed Detroit rapper 42 Doug, basically in some kind of joint venture with Yo Gotti's CMG label, right? This basically says that, you know, the ink is now dry. Billboard learned on Monday that 42 Doug has officially signed to Yo Gotti's CMG label, but it's in a joint venture with Lil Baby's 4PF. So he's getting his, you know, he's getting his business mogul kind of stuff on, right? And
What that was, Trap, it was so Gotti signed him, and Gotti just felt like Lil Baby had he had motion with, with that age bracket that 42 dude need to get attached to his music or whatever. So he felt like, how Gotti is, he laid back, so he wanted Baby to kind of push him or whatever. So he cut Baby in on the deal. But this Yo Gotti artist though.
And it's a little bit like confusing to me. Like, okay, like how are you signing people through 40F, but to somebody else's label? You sign them to Yo Gotti from a whole different city. 42 Doug's from Detroit, but clearly that there's kind of some business going on behind the scenes. Now, while this is going on in 2019, okay, a year later, and I'm going to show you my document here because we got some original content for you guys right here. I got all my links lined up here. There was a rumor that basically started going around saying that Lil Baby's 4PF crew had robbed Offset, okay? This was a leaked message that had been circulated on this on-site kind of blog post. It said, you hear about Offset and 4PF? It's true. He out here trying to pay his way into an apology just so no one will be coming for him anymore for some of the stuff he did a couple months back. They left that man out here sad, just in his boxers on, and he won't speak on it, though. He tried to pay them off. Getting left in your boxes is actually insane. So there's more messages that went around on Offsite. It said, anyone hear about Offset getting jumped by 4PF at Compound? And somebody replies saying they stripped him and he jumped in P. Rafe naked. Why though? They're saying, did you hear that from a valid source? Huh? Ain't they gang? And now for the record, okay, I'm just reading these messages purely speculative, but just a bunch of, I could draft up a bunch of messages saying that like, yo, I finessed Lil Baby. I could literally draft a message now. I could text my homeboy and say, yo, don't tell anyone, but I just finessed Lil Baby for $10 million. And I could post that on a blog and be like, yo, Trap Lil Ross just finessed. That don't necessarily mean anything. But the fact that this has now been backed up by lyrics from Lil Baby who is saying it, unless he's a capper, all right?
Oh, it's been true.
This is the next message, okay? It says, ain't they gang? Security that was working that night? Someone said, I heard he'd been trying to pay them off for a while to keep them off his ass. And they replied, what are they beefing about? How this ain't hit the media? And someone replied, not sure why, just know they are. I heard Quavo. You heard Quavo or Offset, and then we don't know what came next. Now, the rumor of this alleged stripping would actually gain more traction when the alleged footage would surface online and our guy DJ Academics, King Academics, would actually end up reacting to it on his stream.
So apparently this was somebody videotaping what was going on. I'm gonna try to make this big.
Now, I've seen this clip a few times. You can't really see what's going on if you ask me. Maybe you guys can see it better than me. I don't know. I got pretty bad eyesight, but I couldn't really decipher what was going on in this.
You see people running left, people running right. A lot of activities. Some shit's being thrown.
I don't condone these statements.
Look like this. They're surrounding somebody.
Got Offset hemmed up, throwing his shoes in the air. There go Baby.
Then apparently this right here
in the orange shirt
is Lil Baby. He's coming out and say, what the fuck is y'all doing? He's telling his crew, why the fuck y'all beating up this or doing whatever y'all doing is, what are y'all doing? So apparently he says, what the fuck is y'all nigga doing? This is Lil Baby. Now it kind of looks like them a little bit. The caption was, pay attention, y'all gonna see shoes flying, y'all gonna see Lil Baby asking them niggas what the fuck is y'all doing? Y'all niggas tripping. Then jump in the Lambo and pull off. They keep saying don't shoot, don't bust them. Looks like, again, maybe.
So, all right, at the time, yeah, Lil Baby apparently denied all of this. He denied that this is what happened. They're saying that was him saying, what y'all doing? But apparently it was denied, okay? This was reported on DJ Von TV. It said allegedly, according to On-Site, Offset and Lil Baby's crew allegedly got into a fight. The blog went on to say that Lil Baby's crew, 4PF, stripped Offset of everything but his boxers and just left him there. But there's no video proof of this. However, Offset did unfollow Lil Baby and P on IG and removed promo posts for him. Thoughts? And then Lil Baby replies, "That's cap." And as we all know, whatever Wham says goes. So, you know, whatever Wham says goes. And now 4 years later, he's saying that it is true. But anyway, and it's just weird. Like, you were trying to stop it at the time, but now you're not seeing eye to eye. Now you're claiming it in songs, talking about, yeah, you're a male stripper now. Like, at the time, it looked like you was not happy with what was going on by the sounds of it. But anyway, 4 years after all of this was going around, this was back in 2020, like pandemic times for certain people. Years later in 2024, DMs between Offset and Whack 100 would circulate, and this suggested that actually, before Offset was robbed, he basically had run through Detroit rapper 42 Doug's pockets after a dice game, okay? YouTuber Iceberg covered this and basically went through some of the details.
Why this dude lying? Whack 100 says, man, I'm about to fry him up. You grabbed his pockets. I remember the words you said. You said you think I'm pussy, and you hit him in the mouth. If I wasn't there to get in the middle of that, he was done, and he wasn't by himself. He had like 4 people with him. I walked him out the gate after I argued with you to go back into the studio. Then Offset says that 42 Doug is lying on his kids. Whack 100 says again, I'ma fry him up on No Jumper Friday. I had to argue with you to get you in the studio. And Offset says, facts. Now, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people do not like Whack 100, and for good reasons most of the time. But when the proof is in the pudding, the proof is in the pudding. You can't deny these text messages.
So we got footage here of 42 Doug, you know, doing a little gambling of his own. They playing dice. And obviously the reason I told you that detail earlier on about how, you know, 42 Doug and Lil Baby had kind of like linked up to get him this deal with Yo Gotti CMG label. So obviously there's love between them, and that potentially explains why the 4PF crew would end up jumping Offset, because he was trying to take some money out of 42 Doug's pocket after they was having a little gambling that went wrong. And once again, I just want to reiterate, man, just don't be gambling out here on the streets, bro. Like, save it for if you're gonna do that, bro, do it online. I don't even condone that. Just don't gamble if you can help it. But that street gambling, I've never heard anything go well off the back of that. Now, Iceberg in this video, he would basically go on to say, and shout out to him, okay, he would basically go on to say, even though the details are fuzzy, these DMs basically confirm the long-held rumors that something must have happened between Offset and 42 Doug. So that kind of confirms that they were basically having an issue. Perhaps this is what it was about. And, you know, there's this Vlad clip that basically seems to confirm with DJ Academic saying that Offset's beef with Lil Baby and 42 Doug stemmed from a dice game.
Something happened that night. Whether 42 Doug got robbed or not, whether he got punched or not, something happened. And Whack 100, he's getting old, right? Like, you can't fully rely on his eyesight. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Hey, why are they doing Whack like that, man? I don't condone that.
it might be a little bit fuzzy and blurry to him. Like, he could have seen Lil Baby's son. Because, you know, 42 Doug and Lil Baby's son, they're like the same height. And they got like a similar hairstyle. So Whack 100 sees Lil Baby's son, he might be like, on Paru. That's 42 Doug. I see Offset manhandling him. Like, nah, bro. Like, that's just Lil Baby's son. Like, he was just giving him a hug goodbye, like, before he left the studio. Like, he going with Lil Baby.
So yeah, look, all right, that's basically, he's explaining that's what he thinks went on, okay? And 42 Doug would actually clap back on the situation himself too, and he would basically claim that ain't nobody running through his pockets without somebody dying over it, but he did also allege that Offset indeed did get stripped over the situation. Let's see what he said.
Nigga, do I have to show this shit, nigga? Do I gotta show DMs when niggas trying to meet up with me in different cities? Yeah, saying please stop, please stop. I gotta block you, Drake. Y'all bragging on these niggas, acting like these niggas tough. These niggas got stripped butt booty naked. Like a nigga going on a nigga, a real street nigga pocket. Man, picture that. What the fuck? And ain't nobody die. Ain't nobody go down behind this shit. Dude got his pockets ran. A nigga swung, fired on dude, hit him in the, and ain't nobody die behind this shit, bro. Right. My money. Ain't nobody, come on, bro. You know we don't even play like that. We ain't never played like that. Lisa.
So look, he's saying ain't nobody ever played with him like that, all right? You're going to die for playing with his pockets. But, you know, nobody died. So he's basically saying it's not true. If it's true, somebody would have lost their life about it. Now, coming right up to basically yesterday, okay, in response to Lil Baby's recent Other Boy diss, okay, Atlanta artist Mango Fu allegedly responded himself, all right? He's trying to frontline and basically saying, listen, all right, he's got the Offset project as his display picture, so we know that he, Team Offset, And in response to the news about this lyric, make a rapper take his clothes off, that boy a male stripper, he basically responded, and he YRN, that's the Migos crew. He's saying, shit, Buddy and them, they got spun on about that. So they saying that people got active in the streets and actually spun and got busy off the back of this, okay? And basically, even Offset himself, right? They were saying, somebody commented and said, Offset talking about you shouldn't have put me in it. All I got to do is make one call, 3 letters, 4 PF. You're going to poop yourself like you did behind Compound. And even Offset himself confirmed. He said, police ass ho, I ain't called you. And if anybody played with me, they got blitzed. Ask around. He's basically saying people was getting hit up in street activity. People was getting targeted in the streets off the back of this situation. And quite frankly, that wouldn't surprise me, to be honest with you. That is a very serious allegation that went down. Yeah, you really going... I don't even... Right, you really, really, really trying to hurt somebody's feelings by stripping them. Low-key, kind of suspect, to be honest. Like, stripping dudes? Like, you want to say, oh, make somebody take their clothes off, you're a male stripper. Like, you sus. Like, you mad zesty. Like, you taking dudes' clothes off. Like, you lost a dice game and you like, yeah, it's time to unwrap something. Like, bro, you...
Trap, sometimes they do that for humility, you know what I'm saying, just to humiliate a person. Sometimes you take a nigga clothes off just to make sure he ain't got no strap nowhere hidden. You know, it ain't always on no zesty shit.
Weird for that. Like, that's super, super weird. Don't respect that at all. But anyway, man, whatever Wham says goes, okay? Obviously, it's just all nonsense because Wham said in 2020 this never happened, even though he said in a lyric later on it happened. I really don't know how to get to the bottom of this, man. We're going to need to hear from Wham again. I'm still waiting to hear what Wham says goes about that other thing. Like, we still ain't heard, like, whatever Wham talking about this, bro, Wham, you got back, like, we got backdate some of this activity, bro, because we still trying to hear about that other thing that ain't really looking too good. But anyway, I know that they've sent the fumigators into Atlanta, man. They cleaned everything up. They cleaned up the city. Thank God. It's finally better. Everything is... Atlanta is healing. It's healing, but then it's also beefing at the same time. I really don't know what's going on at this point, okay? I'll keep you guys updated. If anything else happens, I'll keep you guys updated, man. Shout out to you guys, man. Trap Disciples, we are solid as ever. Everybody, just stay locked in, man. Stay locked in, because trust me, I'm going to have some crazy stuff. But let me know what you want down in the comments, like next few videos.
Hey, y'all hit the like, share, subscribe, man, and the notification bell when I drop my content. Appreciate it. I'm out.